Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, it is a weather action day. The weekend snow is gone, but it's left behind icy roads and slippery conditions for your morning drive.
Now, our team is driving around the Front Range, so you know what to expect out there. And we'll check in, of course, with Jason to get the trouble spots in a moment. Let's start with Lisa. Yay. Yes. Fun stuff out there. Lisa, we might see a little more snow today.
We're going to be under a partly sunny sky. Take a look right now. Most of the snow that we saw this weekend, leaving us with around 3 to 6 inches. Sky's clearing in spots. We're going to be under a little partly cloudy sky, though, today. We may see a few light snow showers within that. So don't be surprised if you do. The mountains will definitely pick up a little bit more, a couple more inches out west. It's cold this morning. We're at 4 degrees right now in Denver. It's going to feel more like about 5 to near 10 degrees below when you factor in that light wind of about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So bundle up early on. We've got a cold start to the morning and not much of a warm up. I mean, we're going to be close to freezing, so it is better, but we're at this point still about 20 degrees below normal, typically low 50s this time of year. Boulder today 30, Evergreen you're going to be in the low to mid 20s, Estes Park 23, and again our high country will pick up at least another couple of inches of snow today, but most of our alerts have expired. Coming up, we're going to take a closer look at the next round of snow. We've got another storm coming in by midweek, so not far off from this one. All of our snow having fallen this season, Jason, this year, and there's more to come.
And right now we do have, unfortunately, some really slick conditions, deceptively icy in a lot of spots for us this morning. The latest crash is coming into the south side of town. This is down on C470. You see some of the conditions on 285 right near Permally Gulch, just west of C470. There's 6th Avenue here. Here's down at Central Park at I-70. Seeing a little slowing right around that 270 Quebec I-70 interchange. Take a look at the other quad split. We do have one crash coming in, reported around I-25 in Arapahoe. Didn't quite see it there. It's supposed to be on right there on the bridge, and those bridges are super slick. This is I-25, not too far from that huge crash we had yesterday at University. Take a look at the overall map, and I've seen most of the worst conditions really from 6th Avenue South, from Santa Fe West, and around C470 down here around Wadsworth and some of those areas. We'll take a look at that in just a second. The rest of the drive, you can see a little bit of slower traffic around University on that southbound side. Had earlier crashes in there, seeing a little bit of slow traffic again right around I-70 and 270. But some of the worst conditions I've seen so far is out here to the west side of town. Veronica Acosta is right now along 285, not too far from Wadsworth. And Veronica, what are you seeing, and how slick is it for some of those roadways?
So 285 west coming up on Wadsworth here, and this is definitely the worst part that we've seen as well, Jason, just like you just said. Some of these roadways quite icy. You can see that off on the side skirts, especially now that there's a little bit of light here. But you see still a bit of snowpack there, and it's in between the lanes. It's off to the sides. We did see a CDOT plow wedge moving through here. So they're trying their best to get some of these roadways clear for drivers as they start their morning commute. But there is quite a bit of shuffling, especially on our end, in some of these bigger vehicles, even as we make our way down the highway. We're only going about 43 miles an hour this morning, and not too many other drivers going too fast. So that's something to keep in mind. But the roadways definitely icy this morning. Definitely something to watch out for. Guys, back to you.
All right, good heads up. Thank you, Veronica. Our team coverage continues from Denver with Christian Lopez, who is right outside of our studios here at Spear and Lincoln for a look at the drive into downtown this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. That's right. We just left the station a couple of minutes ago, and now we are near Santa Fe Drive, and we are about to turn left onto 6th Avenue, headed west. And let me turn it over to show you what we're looking at right now. Let me see here. All right, so you can see there, the roads are definitely icy, just as Jason keeps mentioning, but they're not too bad. We're actually going the speed limit in this area about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Okay. And traffic is flowing pretty well. There's not a lot of cars out here, but it's not looking too bad. But we are seeing some of those icy areas that we keep mentioning this morning. So definitely watch out for those, because they're hard to notice, but they're in the roads. So definitely be careful as you are headed out this morning. We just left and we are headed onto the highway soon. So we're going to keep driving around and continue monitoring these conditions for you guys throughout the morning. Yeah. So I'm going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, still below freezing, so anything that breaks up could also refreeze. All right, thank you, Christian. The snow actually led to 2 serious crashes over the weekend. Police say 15 cars crashed, closing part of northbound I-225 for more than an hour last night. This was the view from the CDOT camera at the time. Happened at Iliff Avenue just south of Mississippi. 5 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The highway was reopened around 10:30 last night. But earlier in the day, at least 50 cars were involved in 6 pileups along northbound I-25 at University Boulevard in Denver. That happened around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. The fire department says there were only minor injuries reported, thankfully. Homeless advocates say Denver isn't doing enough to protect people on the streets when our temperatures drop. This weekend, members from the group Mutual Aid Monday wrote a letter to the city of Denver criticizing its response to the last cold snap. The group says the city opened warming centers halfway through the freeze last month. Those centers were also only open during the day. Advocates are asking city leaders to be better prepared this time.
I hope this is our last cold spell because people are getting worn down. We should not be living in a society that lets people freeze to death or get frostbite.
We reached out to the city's Department of Housing Stability and the mayor's office for comment, but we have not heard back yet. You can get our weather and traffic updates anytime just by downloading the free Denver 7 Plus app to your streaming device.
We're turning now to the latest on the war in Ukraine. The two sides are set to hold a third round of talks today to try and end the fighting, but Ukrainian officials say they're skeptical of Russia's proposal to open humanitarian corridors for refugees. They say it's not a genuine offer because it only offers to evacuate citizens to Russia or Belarus. Russia declared a ceasefire yesterday to allow civilians from Kyiv and other cities to leave. More than 1.5 million people have now fled Ukraine, with at least 1 million of them to Poland. The State Department, meanwhile, is confirming reports that Russia has deliberately targeted civilians. Ukraine's president is warning Russia plans to use high-precision weapons to destroy Ukrainian military industrial facilities. The United States and other NATO members have sent Ukraine 17,000 anti-tank missiles and 2,000 Stinger anti-aircraft missiles. A real estate agency with offices here in Colorado is looking to help children who have had to flee their homes in Ukraine. Realty One Group is holding a toy drive. You can fill a shoebox with toys and drop it at any of their locations in Denver and Lone Tree today and tomorrow. They will ship the boxes to Nevada and then on to a partner in Poland who will distribute them.
3, 2, 1, punch!
Wow! Cannonball into the cold water there this weekend. The weather, of course, really put the polar into the polar plunge event. The snow and cold didn't stop our Denver 7 team, though, from jumping in the icy pool. There goes Lisa Hidalgo. Denver 7 is a proud sponsor of the plunge and the 5K event to support Special Olympics Colorado. The group is raising money for 15,000 of its athletes across the state. Lisa, reviews. How'd it go?
You just gave me credit. I wasn't even there.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I didn't make it in time. It happened so fast. It was so cold that the plungers went through within like 30 minutes. I worked yesterday morning, and so I didn't make it to the park in time. Shucks, right? Yeah, here's the problem. Now I'm doing the plunge in Boulder, which is going to be even worse because you have to run into the cold water. Yeah, lucky me. We're going to be at about 10 degrees at the bus stop early this morning. Little mix of sun and clouds. Partly sunny skies. There is going to be a chance for some light snow. A few little areas where we may see it, mainly up and through the mountains and up and through the foothills where we could, right around 32 by the time your kids get home.
We have a major issue now on 270 with the eastbound side closed down. These are the conditions over on I-70 near Central Park. The closure and crash should be back that way. Look at the map right now where you can see this is where the closure is. Eastbound 270 officially closed here, trying to get past Quebec and get onto I-70. And so that, unfortunately, is going to be a situation we're going to have to follow here this morning.
It's National Consumer Protection Week. Today we're breaking down our state's most prevalent scams and a new law to stop automatic renewals that you don't want. Plus,
I'm John Matteries. Planning a wedding in the next year or two? You might want to budget some extra money. I'll tell you about the latest pandemic price hikes and delays coming up.
yeah.
Oh.